one of the mental models, this is a great mental model to have, is to be a giver. Don't play math games. Always try to make sure the other guy gets the better end of the deal. And just keep going through your life that way. And that goodwill will compound. It will take care of itself.
And the time horizon, you don't worry about the time horizon.
You're not doing it for getting something back. That's the key. You're not doing any mathematics like you're not calculating. I'm going to do this so XYZ happens. You're just doing it. End of story.
I was sat with my girlfriend last night. She runs a breathwork business, so she's essentially a solopreneur. And she's at that point where she's trying to scale. In fact, I just meet so many, I think I actually ran a survey before. And the vast majority of business owners are in that SME category, that small sort of business category. It's startups are the backbone of our economy. But they come to me with the same problem, which is maybe I started as an individual, I've got high demand, and now I'm a bottleneck. And I don't know how to get out of being like a freelancer. How does the freelancer become an agency? And the thing I was chatting to my girlfriend about last night was the step she hasn't taken yet is to hire someone exceptional. And so many founders come to me, these early stage founders are like, my customers like me, I do it better, I don't trust anybody. I wondered if you had a mental model for thinking about...
The thing is, so if you look at people like Elon Musk and Steve Jobs, they believe their number one job is recruiting. The first 3,000 people who joined SpaceX, all personally interviewed by Elon. Just think about that. Those are 3,000 hires. Think about the number of interviews, get the 3,000 hires, okay? He did not believe there was any other way. And what Steve Jobs used to say is that A players want to work with A players. The moment you start introducing B players will hire B and C players. They will never hire an A player. So your downhill journey's already started the moment you get a B player. And so as an entrepreneur, we have a lot of demands on our time, right? But recruiting has to be at the top. You've got to be willing to spend inordinate amounts of time on recruiting. There are tools that you can use. There's a company called Caliper we use for pre-employment testing. The thing is that between the genetics of a human and the first 5 years of their life experience, who they are, their traits are hard-coded. That is not going to change from 5 to 95, okay? So it's not like you're going to change a human. Human is the way they are, okay? Now, these pre-employment testing tests can get you data that you're not going to get in an interview.
One of my companies I'm building at the moment is called culturetest.com. It's exactly this.
Okay.
You're just like preaching to the choir here.
But what I'm saying is that we need to get really good at recruiting.
Yeah,
okay.
It's my absolute obsession. And what I found out is that, funnily enough, from doing these culture tests, so I've culture tested tens of thousands of people in the general population now. And the shocking part was, just to give you some context on what it does, it benchmarks our best performing people and how they make their decisions. The assumption here is that culture isn't the thing you come up with at the offsite. Culture is how you would behave on Christmas Eve when you get a text message from a client. Like what you do there is your company culture. So it basically creates these questions which simulate optimal culture in that team. And it puts you in that scenario and says, what do you do? This is probably a good point to talk to you guys about culturetest.com, which is the website we're about to launch for anyone who has the responsibility of hiring someone, which is probably everybody listening. One bad hire can destroy your entire company. So we made culturetest.com so that you guys at home can spot those red flags and avoid those hires that might be the end of your business. Culture Test will make you your own personalized culture test so that you can screen every single person that wants to be in your team and your current team members and people that have left to see how they align. Just go to culturetest.com and put your email address in. And the minute we launch, I'm going to send you an email so you can try it before anybody else.
So recruiting is really important. And I think the other thing is we're willing to hire people who may not do things as well as we do. But actually also what I've also found is I have so many people on my team who are better than me. They're better at many of these things because it's not my natural bent to do those jobs. So that's really when you get a huge bang for the buck, is you end up with team players that are way better than you.
How do you think about firing people? Because this is the other thing I hear from founders.
Hire slow, fire fast.
Founders really struggle with the fire fast thing.
And it is very important to fire fast. I think fire fast is more important than hire slow. And you're doing the person a service because they may be exceptional in another role at another place. So you are helping them try to find that. And you're helping your other team members.
If I was trying to work for your companies, what is the one non-negotiable? Like, what is the trait that I would demonstrate where you would immediately not even consider me?
The most important is integrity. We want three traits, right? We want intelligence, we want integrity, and we want willingness to work hard. And none of these three are really negotiable.
And what does integrity mean in your definition?
Well, it's absolute honesty. It's pretty simple. It's black and white. Conduct yourself with the highest levels of ethical standards. So on all fronts, when you're dealing with a customer or internally or externally, the moral standards need to be very high.
When you think about your wealth, how much of it has come from building businesses versus being a great investor of the capital that you managed to make from those businesses?
I think currently most has come from the investing side.
You're very well known for being a really excellent investor over many, 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 many years. I'll put a graph on the screen that I found, which I think shows the returns of your investment strategy versus the Dow Jones, this graph. Have you seen that one before?
I haven't seen it this way, but people put up all kinds of things, yeah.
I mean, all this says is that you're extremely good at investing. So I want to know, if I'm starting my investing career, I'm working in a 9-to-5 job at the moment, I've got a couple of $1,000s in my bank account, how should I be thinking about investing? Should I be investing?
So there are three things that matter in terms of getting a great outcome with investing. Starting capital, how much the amount you start with, length of the runway, how long are you going to invest the money, and the rate of return. Okay, so before I answer your question, I want to tell you a story. This is a true story. In 1623, in New York, the Native American Indians in New York who owned the island of Manhattan, the Dutch settlers wanted to buy the island. So they went to the Indians and said, we'd like to buy the island of Manhattan, great natural harbors. It can be a great place for us. And the Indians and the Dutch reached an agreement to sell the island of Manhattan for $23.